Hey gang, it's Anthony Naimo with Loving Life in Camarillo, and I'm super excited to share with you about something that if you don't already know about, you got to know about it. It's a ton of fun. It's the baseball clinic right here in Camarillo, and I am fortunate enough to be with Pastor Jim Johnson, who is the one who not only runs it, but he started it. And so Pastor Jim, thanks so much for taking some time today out of your schedule to come and answer some questions, tell us a little bit about the clinic. I appreciate it, and I'm excited for you guys to learn about it. I think your kids are going to love it. If you would just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and how long you've called Camarillo home.
Thank you, Anthony. I am Jim Johnson, and Linda and I moved here 2006. We moved out here about 11 years ago. Came from Minneapolis. We've been in ministry for 25 years. And I've served the church in a little small town in northern Minnesota, a little farming community called Fosston, Minnesota. Spent 10 years doing college ministry with 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, primarily small town kids or farming area kids who came to Minneapolis to do kind of a discipleship training center experience on campus in Minneapolis. And then from there we were called to help start a little church of 40 people here in Camarillo back then. And they were meeting in the old Camarillo Daily newspaper office.
Really?
And they took a gamble and said, we want to call a big family, and they asked us to help them establish their little church, their little fledgling church, and make it into a growing, healthy, vibrant congregation. And so that's what we've been doing here now for the last 11 years.
Wow, awesome. So baseball clinic, my son has been involved with it for over a year now, absolutely loves it.
And it's a good player, yep.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about when it began, what made you want to start it up?
Well, a couple of things happened to make me want to start the clinic. And primarily it was, I was knocking on doors to let people know about our church in Camarillo. So we lived in a new neighborhood of Camarillo, and I knocked on, I think, 7,000 doors in the first few months, just introducing.
That's impressive.
I'm Jim, I'm a neighbor of yours. We're trying to get this new congregation started. We're partnering with other churches to reach people for Jesus Christ in the community. And I would be happy if people would talk to me for 30 seconds. 60 seconds was big.
Knocking on doors is tough.
It was long, and my little boy was 2 years old, so I'd bring a stroller so they would know it was not intimidating.
Right.
And finally, one of the families in our church said, could we get to know more families, maybe in a little bit more deep way, by offering some service that would help them. And so we started a baseball clinic on Thursdays or Fridays, I can't remember which it was, at Pitts Ranch Park in Camarillo, really nice park.
Yeah.
And we started with 6 people. 4 of them were my children, and 2 of them were that other family.
Awesome.
And I was about ready to quit. I got through October and November, and I was just ready to, there was not enough kids coming, and it just seemed to be a fruitless waste of my time. But the family said, let's go a little bit longer. And so we opened it up again in January, and about 20 kids showed up. And just to our surprise, I don't know what it was, but we began to play baseball in the park. And it was trying to reach families that probably weren't in club baseball or even rec baseball, but just what I call sandlot baseball. And it was really a way for me to interact with new families and get a chance to know them. And I found out that it was way better than the 60 seconds at somebody's doorstep. But if I pitched baseballs to their son or taught their girl how to catch a pop fly, that they would actually talk to me for a long time.
Yeah.
And so we have grown it now. We've been doing it for 10 years. We do it on Thursdays here at Valle Lindo Park, where you can see around. It's a great park.
Absolutely.
Great place for kids to play, and we'll often get the older siblings playing ball.
Yeah.
And the little ones just playing at the park. And then the moms get a chance to get to know each other. And so we get about 25 kids, maybe 30 kids coming almost every week during the school year, fall, September through November, go almost up to Christmas. Then we take a couple months off, and then we start February through May. And it's just sandlot baseball, teaching kids the basics of it.
Well, like I said, my son loves it. And it was one of the things that I thought was really cool to hear about is the fact that so many of the kids, and to hear you tell the story of what it was like that first year with 6, it's tough to play baseball with 6, but how it grew, and now, 11 years later, there's those that grew up in it who are
back.
helping instruct it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. I love that, and I think it speaks to the fact that they got something out of it and they really loved it, and then also you've empowered them to be able to come back and serve.
We aim at teaching 5-year-olds up to 11, but then some of those kids that have been through it want to come back and keep giving back to it.
Yeah.
And that was maybe part of it for us, because Camarillo is a kid-centric community. It's a place where families come that want to raise kids. And one of the reasons we came to Camarillo to help that church is that Linda and I were feeling like we were not spending enough time together, nor with our kids. And so maybe that was one of the other reasons I wanted to do something. She asked me to consider ways in ministry that we could do outreach together.
Yeah.
Dad, mom, kid in the stroller, and the high school students. And so it was also a way to spend time with my kids. And so it kind of ended up to be a little bit of family-based ministry, because you got the 14-year-old teaching the 5-year-old and the 10-year-old learning from the 17-year-old.
Anybody can be involved with it. Yeah, any age.
And the deal was no pre-registration, no medical forms, no money. There's no cost to it. It makes it a lot easier for me, because it's just free. Just kind of go down to the park and learn how to play baseball.
Yeah.
And that's been something. I think that's part of that's what Camarillo is about, is families connecting with like-minded families.
Yeah.
And this has been a safe place to make friends and get to know kids, and also probably a chance for kids to learn the social sport of baseball and softball.
Yeah. No, it's a great game. And I think being able to develop, I know for me, being able to develop relationships within the context of sports, I think of those friends that I met back, in junior high, high school, many of those that I still stay in contact with came from within those sports relationships. And so there's something unique that happens when we partner, we team up, where we've got a common goal, and it's just fun to see what happens there, not only relationally, but even just ourselves, the way that we develop as we push ourselves.
Who was it? Was it Socrates who said, I can learn more about a person in 1 hour of play than in a whole year of conversation? And isn't it true? You can learn so much about people when you play a game with them. Basketball, football, touch football, or baseball. We use this big softball called a clincher ball. We call it Norwegian softball, just because that's how I learned it.
Yeah.
And it's the rule is you get only one pitch and you got to hit it, and everything's fair. And so young and old can play it together.
Yeah.
Without dental work and without and it's just a way to learn it.
Yeah.
And I just think you make friends playing games like that, and that's been a big part of it.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to hear the way that it's just evolved over time, but to think that you've been doing this for 10 years now.
It's been 10 years. We had up to 45 kids one time, but that's too much.
Yeah.
So I've kind of backed it off, and maybe because we're isolating homeschool families in that 12:30 to 2 o'clock time slot, it limits the scope of it a little bit, but it's been fun. And
it's tough. I don't know about you, but for me, it's tough to keep doing the same thing for 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
How have you been able to continue to enjoy it, and what keeps you coming back each year?
I got kids like Ben at Naimo who say, hey, can we play baseball? Are we going to play baseball this year? And I have a lot of moms in the community. Our church is Good Shepherd Church of Camarillo, and I would say the baseball clinic touches people from 10 different churches.
Yeah.
But I have people from those churches saying, Jim, we'll do everything. We'll bring the snacks, we'll bring the kids, we'll recruit the people.
Yeah.
And I got about 6 big bins full of baseball bats and baseball gloves and softballs, and all I do is bring that equipment out there, and a couple of college interns to help me teach.
Awesome.
And then some of the teenagers that have been a part of it. And it's a baseball for every man. It's just kind of a fun, interactive, community, social, sandlot style baseball that works.
I love it. I know you kind of mentioned a little bit of specifics, but if there's somebody that wants to come out, I know today's Wednesday, you guys are on for tomorrow. Tell them a little bit about what they need to know, what they need to bring, if anything, or what.
Anybody is welcome to come. We end up with all kinds of people that come and try us out. So just come. There's no registration, no sign up, no online check-in. Just show up at Valle Lindo Park. It's it's in between Lantana and Rosewood. And you're going to find a park, beautiful park just north of Ponderosa here, Valle Lindo Park. And we would love to have you just come and try us out. If you want to just watch once, watch once. We'll be meeting every Thursday from February through May, except for a holiday. And if there's a like Easter holiday, I think.
Yeah, take a little break.
But we'd love to have any of you and your friends to come along and jump on board. Maybe you want to teach. Maybe you're a parent that wants to help. And maybe you want to just make some friends with the moms that are watching too. That's all right.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Pastor Jim. Those of you that are looking for a church here in Camarillo, as Pastor Jim mentioned, great congregation at Good Shepherd.
Google Good Shepherd Camarillo or
Yeah.
call 384-9243.
Get all the details. Go check them out on Sunday morning. There's
8:30
things.
if you like it quiet, 11 o'clock if you like it a little louder.
Awesome. And online, it's Good Shepherd.
Oh,
Website.
Yeah, Google Good Shepherd
Okay.
Camarillo and you'll find it.
Get all the
easy.
details you need.
Yeah.
Amazing guy. And there's a lot of things that we love about Camarillo. It's a neat community, but at the end of the day, the thing that I love most are the people that live here. And it's people like Pastor Jim, who just relational, loves people, has a heart to serve. And so thanks so much for taking some time today and telling us a little bit about the baseball clinic, but even more so, thank you for your commitment to pour in the lives of kids here in Camarillo. It's really cool.
Thanks, Anthony. That's great.
Thank you.